Greetings of peace. Since its inception a quarter of a century ago, the Santuario de San Antonio Parish Foundation Inc.'s scholarship ministry has reached out and helped over 1,000 young men and women graduate from vocational technical courses, as well as assist some college scholars finish their courses when their families were unable to do so. Back in those days, the scholarship program was known as the Jpic Scholarship Program, Justice, Peace, and Integrity of Creation. The initial 12 young men who graduated from Don Bosco Makati that school year 1996-97 have gone on to become good Kristiyanong mamamayan, good Christian Filipino citizens. What do we do? In addition to the tuition assistance, food and transportation allowances, we place an important emphasis on spiritual and moral values formation. We meet with our scholars on the first Saturday of every month. We pray, conduct many workshops and seminars on time management, finance and money management, goal setting, good manners, and right conduct. Our scholars enjoy English tutorials and catechism classes once a month. We are given the grace to accompany our scholars on their journey. We learn from them and their lives and hope they also grow in their love of family, God, and country. We hope our story, their stories, have touched you. Saint Anthony, lover of God's poor, you are the inspiration for our Franciscan parish. Saint Anthony, worker of God's miracles, the continuing generosity of our parishioners and friends of our ministry allow the parish to continue the good work Santuario de San Antonio Parish started 25 years ago and continues to this day, and hopefully for many years to come. God bless you and your families.
Welcome, everybody. What are the mental health issues of our youth and the general public today? How have these been worsened by the pandemic? How do we recognize, manage, and overcome these problems? Mental wellness and mental health are very delicate subjects that must be handled with sensitivity and care. These are best addressed by a professional. So when the topic came up in a survey amongst our scholars in 2019, we looked around for an expert in the field to help our scholars navigate today's challenging times. Dr. Maria Lourdes Rosana Ejercito de Guzman, or Dr. Marisa for short, is an associate professor at the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Medicine, UP College of Medicine and PGH, the National University Hospital. Dr. Marisa is the principal investigator of the Philippine National Survey for Mental Health and Well-Being, which is the first epidemiological baseline survey on mental disorders. This will provide the rationale for mental health service delivery nationwide by the government. It is worth noting that we now have the Philippine Mental Health Law of 2018 and the Universal Healthcare Act of 2019, which provides for holistic care to include physical, mental, and psychosocial care for all Filipinos. Dr. de Guzman is also Program Director of the Family Support Group Bukas Puso at ISIP for the care of families with a family member suffering from chronic mental illness, and the PGH Crisis Center for Women, Victims of Violent Crimes. She has her private practice at Medical Towers, Makati. Dr. Marisa obtained her medical degree at UE RMMC in 1986. She took her MS Epidemiology, Public Health at the UP College of Public Health in 2007 and specializes in general adult psychiatry. In 2019, she successfully completed the Southeast Asia Leadership or SEAL program in healthcare at the Harvard Medical School. Finally, Dr. Marisa is an outstanding alumna of Maryknoll High School class of 1978. I'm very honored to present to you Dr. Marisa, who will talk on mental wellness and you in today's health crisis. Please join me in welcoming her. Thank you.
Today, I have been assigned to give a talk on mental wellness during these times of crisis as we continue coping with the new normal. Isang taong nang nakaraan since the implementation of the nationwide lockdown with the hope to contain the COVID-19 outbreak. Pero hindi natin alam na itong second wave ay mas malala dahil dumadamin ang kaso ng COVID-19 sa ating kapaligiran. Although it came with a lot of difficulties, definitely kailangan pa rin tayo mag-observe ng quarantine because it has kept us, many of us, safe and healthy. Okay? What are your expectations during these talks? Well, what are the challenges and how it affects daily life and how I can cope with stress? Coping strategies in the impact of online learning for children. I hope it's informative. We will try to apply the holistic approach, practical behavior approach, and ideas to develop resiliency. Eventually, kung kailangan ng tulong, how to get professional help. Slowly, the GCQ is being lifted up with the standardization of safety and health protocols at the levels of the LGUs given the entry of the COVID-19. This was necessary to help us get back into our feet and enable the country to recover economic losses. Nagparehistro na ba kayo? Kailangan tayong mabakunahan lahat because the virus remains a threat to our well-being. Education in times of COVID-19 had been quite challenging for everyone, para estudyante, mga magulang, at saka eskwelahan. No? Given the scenario created by social restrictions imposed by the pandemic. And this has led to escalation to severe levels of academic stress in our students and faculty. That's why nararamdaman mga iba, nandyan ang fear, nandyan ang trauma, at hindi natin maalis ang depression and anxiety. Okay? So, my talk today will focus on learning online or learning on the line, no? And the impact of online learning on our children, on each one of you. Okay? So, it's important, first of all, that we need to manage our anxiety and isolation during this quarantine. We have to identify ano yung mga external stressors, anong nagbibigay sa atin ng stress. Unang-una, there's that fear and anxiety of infection, the mental trauma of those infected. Siyempre, may mga kaibigan o mga kamag-anak tayong namatay sa COVID. The long isolation duration, 1 year na at hindi natin nakikita yung ating mga kaibigan. Decreased physical activity. There's unpredictable events. Kailan kaya ako papasok? Kailan kaya makakabalik sa school? No? Disrupted social relationships. Kailan ko makikita yung mga friends ko? Family financial losses. Siyempre mabigat dahil mga ibang mga magulang nawalan ng trabaho. Managing a different workload, and there's a lot of uncertainty about the future. Okay? So here, we found out that the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the children and adolescents' lifestyle behavior was larger than expected. Kasi syempre, nasa bahay lang tayo at pinagbabawal ang mga bata na lumabas ng bahay. So this is linked to both negative physical and mental health outcomes. Makikita natin ang physical activity before the pandemic. Doon sa nagsuschool pa tayo, we have about 6 hours of physical activity every week. Ngayon, dahil pandemic at naka-lockdown tayong lahat, na-reduce to 2 hours a week. Hindi na tayo lumalabas ng bahay, hindi na tayo naglalaro, wala nang exercise. Ang dumami ay ang screen time natin. Noon, it was like 9 hours a week. Pero ngayon, umaabot siya almost ng 40 hours a week. The whole time, we can be hooked on the internet and on our phone. And this has been linked to both negative physical and mental health outcome. Nakakaroon tayo ng psychosocial problems, sometimes nasa-stress, that's why there's poor academic achievements, and it will extend to a negative impact on adults. So, e-learning definitely can cause social isolation. This is what has been happening. One of the things also we have discovered is that if we are hooked on online learning, there is lack of communication skills development in online students. Nawala na yung listening, friendliness, open-mindedness, no? Giving feedback, developing confidence, and recognizing nonverbal communication. Another is that online learning is inaccessible to computer illiterate population. I'm sure all of us had to do and to relearn how to use the computer. No, and the lack of availability of the computer is something also that we have to contend with. E-learning requires strong self-motivation and time management. No, it's either we allow ourselves to be easily distracted by what we see online, or we know how to discipline ourselves. We have to be strongly motivated that I'm here to study in front of the computer and not to waste my time. Online student feedback is also limited, no? Sometimes sa dami ng mga estudyanteng nag-online learning, hindi na nakikita ng teachers ano yung mga nangyayari sa mga estudyante. Nakaka-aral ba sila? Meron ba silang nakukuha sa klase? Asking for student feedback, how it's going, is something that we still are looking into as teachers. Instead of focusing on the negative aspects of learning on the line, let's try to be more positive in our approach on learning online. First of all, it's important for all of us to understand that education is the key to success. We have to be very grateful for this opportunity to be able to study. We know that if we do well in school, we will be able to get a good job and later on be able to help our families. We need to understand also to value learning more than performance. Number 2, online learning allows us accessibility to discover new places, events, and people. Okay? We also are able to have more mobility. We can go from one place to another. We want to see places in Japan. We want to discover places in Europe. We want to discover the culture in Africa. With mobility of online learning, we're able to see many different things. There are definitely effective results if we know how to do a work-time balance. Now, ang nangyayari, there's legitimate work from home careers, no? Some can do graphic designs, others can do transcription, others can do bookkeeping, and also there's freelance writing and editing, and you can do online data entry. So a lot of possibilities of learning online, and we have to take advantage of this. Then, for us, it's very important to have self-paced learning. When you wake up, you have to know how to prioritize what you are going to do for the day. You cannot just put your assignments at the end of the day. You have to know how to do self-paced learning. When you have to do your homework, when you have to read, when you have to attend your online classes. Bawal mag-cramming kasi kung magka-cramming tayo, syempre, yung natutunan natin, hindi natin nare-retain. Definitely, there has to be a shift in the mindset. Not anymore face-to-face and in person because everything is done online. And our class hours are turned into learning time. Remember, for every hour of class, you have also 1 hour of study. Not 1 hour of class, then afterwards another hour of study. No, while you are doing your class hours, you are also studying online. And we learn not anymore to be teachers-centered and dependent. No, we are independent, lifelong learners, and that's why learning online teaches us to be learner-centered. So upskilling. It's very important that we take advantage of the resources that we have online. And there are many free online courses. I know of Coursera, edX, each one of these courses offer free webinars. And if you want to get a certificate, well, you will have to invest in it, no? But definitely, once you get the certificate, you can add that to your curriculum vitae. Definitely, hindi tayo masyadong magastos. Ang pinagagastosan natin ay ang data charges at ang pagkain sa bahay. We do not have to travel very far, and that has saved us on transportation allowance, no? And this is something that also helps the family. So we need to budget what we are going through at this point in time. So a well-designed online learning experiences can be just as effective academically and formatively as face-to-face classes, even with a regular class size. No, I am teaching in the UP College of Medicine, and I have 180 students, no, and everybody is learning online. Okay, so we have to prepare for our classes, and the students also have to attend the classes so that they can maximize their learning. Now, there is enough evidence to demonstrate that severe and long-standing academic-related stress has an adverse effect on academic performance, mental health, and well-being of all the children and adolescents. So, academic-related stress is significantly associated with reduced student academic motivation and academic disengagement. Ibig sabihin, pag nasa-stress tayo na sa pag-aaral, minsan nawawala tayo ng gana or ayaw na natin bumalik sa pag-aaral. We have to recognize that, and we have to be careful so that if need be, we can always ask for help. So what are the symptoms of chronic stress reactions, no, to academic stress? Number one, there's decline in job performance and productivity. Number two, absenteeism and high turnover of employees. Number three, decreased motivation and job satisfaction. And then we have also interpersonal problems. Palaging mainit ang ulo, we easily get annoyed, we are irritable, and maybe more frequent consultations in the medical clinics, and what we call the burnout syndrome. So how do we cope with stress of post-COVID? Actually, it's not post-COVID yet. We are still into another surge of COVID. Okay? Well, these are the 5 things that I'd like you to remember. Number 1 is we need to be well informed by seeking information from trusted sources. Number 2, let's take care of ourselves and be supportive of the others. Number 3, respect and honor the frontliners, keeping our environment safe and free. Number 4, we need to fight stigma and discrimination. No? And lastly, there is a timely referral for works needing counseling and psychosocial support. So, the first thing is we need to recognize the symptoms of stress. Feeling irritation, anger, or in denial. We feel uncertain and nervous and anxious about what's going to happen next. No? And sometimes we lack motivation studying. Wala na tayong gana. We feel tired, overwhelmed, or burnt out. And pag nawawalan tayo ng gana, madali tayong feeling natin napapagod tayong lahat. And for some, they feel sad or depressed, nalulungkot, they nahirapan matulog sa gabi, and they have trouble concentrating. So these are the things that I like you to remember, no? To be able to maximize the physical and mental health benefits. Number 1, you need to take a proactive approach. 2, stay connected. 3, develop healthy habits. 4, know the important facts about COVID-19, and now I would say vaccination. Number 5, you need social support. And number 6, you have to know how to relax. So let's go through each one fast. First of all, be open and be concerned about those living nearby. No, find ways to care and share with the others. No, we have to offer help to our neighbors and be grateful in accepting help from them. We have to all show this bayanihan during these times of crisis. We can do this together. Believe in our strength, to build resilience and manage stress. So it's important that there is communication between parents, teachers, mentors, and friends. And we have to do the best with the resources available. We have to take a proactive approach. Make a plan and identify what we can control, no? And pagising nyo sa umaga, try to visualize a daily timetable or routine, no? And it's good also, I would suggest, to start your day with prayer, with reflection, to thank God for giving you a new day to begin again. And when you go about planning your day, ensure a variety of activities in your things to do list. The first thing that we all have to take care of is stay at home upang mapigilan ang tuluyan nating mapuksa ang pagkalat ng COVID-19. Sa bahay naman, maintain that cleanliness at home. Sometimes iniisip natin magastos ata. Hindi magastos ang pag-maintain ng cleanliness sa bahay. Ang kailangan nyo lang sabon at tubig, no? If you can and if we have disinfection control afterwards, then maintain also that personal hygiene, hand washing, and sanitation before entering the house. We need to be well informed by seeking information from trusted sources. In this way, we can seek reasonable precautions to protect ourselves and our family. It's important to get the real facts, hindi yung haka-haka o mga misinformation or mga fake news that can only lead to more stress and anxieties. Remember, facts can help to minimize our fears. Then it's important to stay connected with our friends. And we can do this through social media. Because it definitely has a positive effect on our well-being and keeps us centered and grounded. Hindi tayo nag-iisa. All of us are going through this difficult situation in this new normal. But then, with the support of others, it reinforces our sense of wholeness that we are not alone. Family bonding is very important. No, it's the best time now to express our love and care towards family members. No, well, the parents are there. They will reassure us that our basic needs will be met. And we also have to be sensitive to family members who may be worried and fearful. I mean, hindi natin alam, no? Lahat tayo natatakot to get the virus. We need to organize our home to feel comfortable and relax. That's why mas maganda to keep it clean and to keep it orderly with whatever we have and avoiding conflict and arguments at this time. Bayanihan is very important. Dapat meron tayong emergency plan and know our community resources is one of us gets COVID. No, the LGUs have provided a place for quarantine and isolation and not to be afraid. The most important thing is that you have the full support of everybody because by doing this quarantine, if you're COVID-19 positive, you are not only protecting yourself, but you are also protecting your family and the community. We have to be willing to make a personal adjustment to ensure public safety. Healthy habits and healthy living should be a priority. Okay? And this is something that I can teach you, know how to relax the mind and body. One way to do that is to do slow breathing exercises, no, while listening to music. No? Sometimes, when you have to take a break from one class to the another, you take a 5-minute break and do some relaxation or breathing exercises. No, and how is it done? When you do deep breathing exercise, do not raise your shoulders. What you have to do is to feel that your diaphragm is the one that is raised when you do deep breathing exercise. So breathe deeply, hold it, and blow through your mouth. Okay? And you can do this several times, at least for 3 to 5 minutes, while listening to good music. Okay? So breathe, hold it, and then release slowly. Closing your eyes, no? Then breathe again. Hold it, and then blow. As if you're blowing everything away. Lahat ng mga gumugulo sa isip mo, tinuturuan natin mag-relax. Breathe, hold it, and then release. So why don't you do it on your own? Closing your eyes. I'll give you a few minutes to do it. You'll be able to see the difference before and after. Okay.
Oo, pang isa.
At the end, Doctora.
Yeah. Yeah. Proceed to the next slide. Huh?
Wait a minute.
Hindi.
Sorry. You can proceed to the next slide. So far, everything's okay? Oh, so far everything's okay? Okay. Then just continue to the next slide. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so now also what are the benefits of healthy eating? Okay, and for this we have the healthy diet food pyramid. The best really is to have more vegetables, and people now are taking advantage of urban planning. With alugbati, you can have it on your table within a week, and with your mongo sprouts, you can also have it. That's why I know the kitchen average has decreased because of the expense of the food. But it should not alarm us. The most important thing is that we're grateful to be able to manage to eat 2 to 3 meals a day. In this way, we have reduced cancer risk, diabetes management, strong bones and teeth, no? And we have stroke prevention because of the weight loss. Exercise definitely is a must, no? Wherever you are, it does not stop us from doing physical activity. Definitely, it will improve our mood, reduce stress, as well as improve ability to cope with stress. We take pride in our physical accomplishments, and it also will help us improve our body image, no? It can be sometimes just walking around the community, for 20 minutes. It can be doing stretching exercises. It can be, walking in place, no? It will improve in our confidence in our physical abilities and decrease symptoms associated with. Okay, a good night's sleep is vital to our physical health and emotional well-being. That's why the benefits of good sleep should never be underestimated. You keep a consistent sleep schedule, no, and establish a relaxing bed. So always maintain that good humor and always be grateful. No, we take advantage sometimes if we have an opportunity to watch K-dramas. Well, it's good because it makes us laugh. We need to fight stigma and discrimination against health workers and against those who have been COVID-19 positive. It's one of the things that we have to learn how to be compassionate.
Of course, it's very important to have a timely referral for children and adolescents needing counseling and psychosocial support for those with mental health problems. So, nalalaman nyo na we are here to help you. I wanted to show you this social experiment on mental health, that if somebody is diagnosed with depression or anxiety, we should not discriminate them. So please watch it. We have to understand them and we have to have more compassionate uh, in helping them get the necessary help that they need.
You can be born perfectly rich have a very good lifestyle, have parents who care very well for you. I don't think mental health issues discriminate against anyone of any race, gender, or social background.
Hi, nice to meet you. Please have a seat.
My name is Nicole. I'll be your moderator for this discussion.
I'm Nicholas. Today, I'm going to ask you a few questions about mental health in Singapore. What do you know about mental illness?
I just know there's depression.
How do you say that? Bipolar disorder.
The wire short circuit, you know.
This guy's crazy, all these kind of words.
Has nothing to do with me.
Would you hire somebody with mental health condition?
I'll probably, make them work in a admin side.
Sweeper, cleaner, or some simple job for them.
Either they hurt themselves or they're going to hurt somebody else. Then if you're mental illness, you apply for a job. But who in the right sense would really want to take you?
Would you date somebody who has a mental health condition?
Some of them would be quite manipulative. They'd say like, if you break up with me, I'll cut myself or I'll kill myself.
And then sometimes they tend to post unreasonable things, such as like a small thing that happened, and then they'll make a big fuss out of it.
I cannot handle. I don't know how to handle.
How would you react to, a friend or family member who's diagnosed with mental illness?
The bridging needs to be the family and not a stranger.
Yes.
不是专业医生，我们可能处理不了。
If possible, I will just stay away as far as possible.
I'll see you siguro in the after. I'll look for you in the afternoon.
不要靠近他。
I didn't introduce myself fully. I suffer from clinical depression.
I was clinically diagnosed with depression. I'm living in recovery.
And I overcame it. I wrote a letter that I would like you to read out to me aloud.
"12 years is a long time to live with a mental health condition.
In the 12 years that have been diagnosed with depression,
This is what I've learned.
I've learned that the greatest battles we fight are the ones with ourselves.
I've learned that most conversation about employment end the moment I review my diagnosis. I've learned that shame is something society teaches you. I've learned how to say sorry for showing symptoms of my condition.
I've learned that friends can disappear, and I will never hear from them again.
I've learned that family doesn't always know how to support you, no matter how much you need them.
I've learned that hope is a little voice that whispers maybe.
I've learned that recovery is a process. I've learned that one small crack doesn't mean I'm broken.
I've learned that I have an illness, but this illness is not my identity.
so sorry that you have to go through this.
I'm so sorry.
Do you have any questions you want to ask me?
Okay, so I come to the end. COVID-19 is still in the air. I have been found to be COVID-19. So what do we do when a family member or any one of us gets COVID-19? Huwag tayong matakot. Dapat alam natin kung anong dapat gawin. We need to take a proactive approach. Okay? And one of these is to make sure that we quarantine ourselves and to say that I am positive for COVID-19 or I may have symptoms of COVID-19. We have to find out our resources, no? And one resource is the quarantine centers. No? As faculty, I was quarantined in Philippine General Hospital. So I stayed there for almost a month because they were scared that I would develop the severe symptoms of COVID-19. It's important that when you are quarantined, you establish a routine. Make a schedule and try to visualize your day. No, if you're quarantined in your room or in your house or the whole house is quarantined, dapat meron kayong routine behavior. Unang-una, cleaning and planning the menu. You start your day with a prayer as well, no? Madaming online masses at pwede tayong humingi ng tulong sa Diyos na huwag tayong pabayaan. Then we make a schedule, of what are the things that we need to do. For the students, you have to continue with your online classes, and then once you're done, you can help out in the host chores, with a list of things to do and to ensure a variety of activities. Stay healthy and take care of yourself. This was the hospital food that I would have every day. So, ang hinihingi ko lang sa pamilya ko yung vegetables and what's this, and boiled egg, and some carrots or fruits, to help, yun ang kinakain ko every day, and that helped me to stay healthy because you have the proper nutrients of zinc, of magnesium, of all the minerals that you need to be able to fight this COVID-19 virus. Then take care of yourself. Take time out to read while you can. The best thing that you can do at this point in time to read. And reading has great benefits. It will improve your comprehension. It will improve your vocabulary. It will improve your communication skills. It will also improve your focus and attention. Okay? So meron ho tayong National Survey on Mental Health na ginagawa sa kasalukuyan. Ito ang Project Lingap sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Meron ho tayong Facebook at doon sa Facebook, nag-iimbita kami ng mga lay interviewers all over the country to help us do this survey. So if you're interested, Facebook page, Lingap sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you very much for a very, very interesting and relevant talk. And I'm sure our kids appreciate it. Now I'd like to call on Gina Ordonez to moderate our Q&A session. Gina?
Yes, thank you again, Dr.
Gina, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Doc. Wow, that was a
yes,
great...
we can hear you, we can see you.
Yeah, that was a great overall plan.
Overhaul.
Yes, for
It
all
was
of
an
us.
overhaul.
No? Yeah, yes. And I'm really hoping that our scholars have picked up so much from that. I was hoping that maybe they can start now putting their questions on the chat box, because there's nothing like having them exactly ask what questions they really want for themselves. But just to get the ball rolling, Doc, perhaps I can start with a question because you mentioned in your presentation that a lot of the things to avoid depression, anxiety, and whatever else might keep us from being mentally healthy relates to programs or do-it-yourself programs, I would say, whether it's prayer, reading, doing mental exercises with your online learning and so forth. Two things came to mind when you said that there is a lot that can be done in terms of online productive behavior. One of them is you gave a couple of job possibilities. Yes. While these scholars might need some extra money, they may just not know exactly where to go to pick up these extra online jobs, no? And hopefully that particular slide on your screen will give them again the idea. And the other one is the fact that they could enroll in something new, like learning a new language, learning how to play a sport, all through online. And that would help, because I'm looking always for the DIY, do it yourself. Paano sila matututo kung nasa bahay lang sila na meron silang laptop, higit sa games, higit sa pag-chat-chat, right? So that's why these are maybe two things you could address a little bit more deeply for more productive time online. Thank you. That
So
might
what
be a
are the,
question.
yeah. Thank you for your question. I appreciate that because these are often the questions that are asked of me, no? So the first question about jobs online, there are, but you have to go to the job sites where they have jobs available online for bookkeeping, for transcribing, you know, for editing. They can do that, no? What's this? I don't know exactly, but I've heard people who have applied for teaching English to Japanese students online or teaching English to Korean students online. So you can apply for that, and you can get, or you can also do tutorials, no? Because some of the students I have at the UP, some of them have been doing tutorials for the homeschool students in the K to 12 category. So yan ang pwedeng, that's what you can offer. You have to know how to package yourself. Okay, it's not simply applying for a job, but you have to come up with your own, a good curriculum vitae, and then also you have to write down your skills. What are the skills that you are good at? Because these are the things that the people or the employers will look for. The second question is that of learning online. Actually, there are a lot of free webinars, no? And one of the sites that they can go to is edX, that's under Harvard. Of course, I think also Coursera is under Stanford. They offer different courses online. What are the courses they offer online? Business writing, doing beginners Excel to advanced Excel, Microsoft Excel. If data science, which is something that I would like to encourage the scholars to go into, try to see if you can attend free webinars on data science, because when you apply for the job, that's something that they will look for. No, if you know how to do data science, because that is where the technology is going. Everything is based on data that's presented online. Okay, then you can also learn a language. They teach Spanish online. So under edX, they also have how to develop teaching English as a foreign language. So also that's something that you can learn. There are many more. Python, machine learning, if you want higher courses, and these are offered online. If you want a certificate, of course, you'll have to pay a fee, but the fee is very minimal. It's like 1,500 pesos only. So if you want to get a certificate, which you can eventually include in your curriculum vitae. I hope I've answered your question.
Oh, thank you so much, Doc. And now we're trying to get over the shyness of the students. Here's one from Dan Dakut. Good morning, po. I just want to ask, how can we help friends or family members who are going through bad experiences? They are scared to be clinically diagnosed because of the social stigma, not to mention financial requirements, po, which you've actually answered already with PGH hotline, no? Yes. So they usually turn on friends and family for help, and that's a given. We know that. Okay. Doc.
So, the most important thing that you and I can do is to listen to them. You have to take time out to listen to family and friends who are going through a bad experience, no? Because talking about our bad experience helps us understand ourselves better. Okay, I mean, what's happening to me? Why am I feeling this way? If we just keep it to ourselves, then we cannot understand what we're going through. But if we talk about it, if we verbalize our feelings, our thoughts, then the person, our friend can understand us and can advise us, and she can recognize, no, maybe I can help you in this, but this, it's beyond me already. Hindi kita matutulungan dito, siguro kailangan mo lang ng professional help. Huwag ho tayong matakot sa professional health. Hindi naman ibig sabihin lahat na kumukonsulta sa amin, psychiatrist, may topak sa pag-iisip o may hangin. That's not true. In fact, at the University of the Philippines, we have established a psychosocial wellness programs because students during this time of crisis need help, no? And we are here to help. So all you have to do is go to the FB page of PGH, and it's easy to do online consultation. They call it the OKRA system. Online consultation, accomplishment report, accomplishment. You just, it's a COVID-19 center. We are advised not to go to PGH because they will only see patients in the emergency room who have been COVID-19. But if you need, but this does not stop you from getting a medical consultation online. Sa PGH po, libre ang serbisyo ng doktor, libre ang consultation. Yung gamot hindi libre, pero hindi I mean, it's if you go to PGH and buy our pharmacy, you have the government pricing for our medication. Hopefully, it's available.
Yes, in fact, doc, people love to have it for free, no? Siyempre, they like libre, no? That's good.
Yes,
and some of them are even afraid.
At least the consultation is,
yes,
the consultation is a big help. That's
and
right.
you know, traditionally Filipino families, especially from the provincial areas, are not so keen on medication or medicine. So maybe they want to start with a friend. You know, I guess that's the typical Filipino way. And then you know, that hotline would be a good alternative, no? The next question, Doc, has to do with just the difference between anxiety and depression, asked by Lindsay Imperial.
Okay. Okay. First of all, I will tell you when do you think that, when do I know that
Frozen, Doc.
Doctora, we cannot hear you.
In the meantime, scholars, you can please continue to add questions that I will ask Doctora, unless you prefer to raise your hand, in which case I cannot see everybody. So just time it na lang, or have Inday who can see everyone. Doctora?
She's gone.
Oh, okay. Angela, would you like to say something, or anybody else? Marisa, would you like to say something about this while we're waiting?
While we're waiting for Doctora, excuse me, perhaps Angela, you can call her. Does she know we can't hear her?
I'm checking on her.
She's probably trying to reconnect.
Gina?
Gina, you're on mute.
Oh, yes, Marisa.
Gina, perhaps our scholars can share the challenges, because I know that it's really difficult to learn online, you know, especially it's not just the internet connection, but as Doctora put in one of her slides earlier, you don't have that face-to-face with a professor, you don't have that immediate feedback, you don't have that way of asking, can you explain further? So maybe we can ask our scholars how they're coping with this.
Yes, please do. Whoever would like to start the conversation, just raise your hand and unmute yourself and go ahead, since I cannot see the hands. Just do it one at a time, please. The question being, ano ba mga problema ninyo sa online learning or anything else related to this pandemic situation? Ang nakikita ko lang dito kasi si Vicente Bautista ba yun? Tsaka si Lori Lane. I don't see anybody else. Let me try to change my view gallery. Okay, who would like to raise their hand and say something? Answer the question of our head.
Yes, sinong may problema? Joffany, ikaw di ba may problema ka sa Wi-Fi? Joffany, can you unmute yourself?
Po.
Hindi ba ikaw may problema? Can you tell us what your problem is with your online classes? Hindi ka, you have to go to the church to connect? Right there. Dr. is back.
Suddenly the screen, I'm back. Sorry to have been.
Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. So where was I? I was with the 5 fingers, right?
You were about the difference between the depression and the anxiety.
And anxiety, no. But first of all, I'd like, when do we know that we have a mental health problem? Kailan natin sasabihin na, naku, meron akong problema or sakit sa damdamin at pag-iisip, no? Okay, so there are, I'd like you to remember that we have the 5 fingers. The 5 fingers are very important to us. What are these 5 things that are important to us? Important to us is our family relationships. Okay? Important to us are our peer relationships. Mga kaibigan natin, barkada. The third one, important to us, is our school performance or academic performance. And for some professionals, it's the work performance. Important to us are our daily activities of daily living. Napapaalagaan natin yung sa ating sarili. Pagtulog, pagkain, pag-alaga sa ating sarili. And the last one is leisure activities. No? Pag nasistress tayo, we know how to take a break. Minsan, pag ang taong ay may depression or anxiety, nawawala na nitong lahat. They give up on their families, they isolate themselves from their friends, they have poor work performance or poor academic performance, napapabayaan na nila yung sarili nila. And the 5th one is, wala na silang interest sa dati nilang ginagawa. So that's when a person has a mental health problem. It can be depression, it can be anxiety, and it can be psychosis. Pag sinabing depression, yun yung sinasabi nilang lungkot ng damdamin. Yung wala nang interest sa mga bagay-bagay na ginagawa mo noon, no? You feel sad, para kang yung sinasabi nila sa Tagalog, lungkot ng damdamin, masyadong mabigat, ang dami mong iniisip na problema. Minsan naiisip mo na ikaw may kasalanan ng lahat. Very negative ang outlook mo sa buhay. The third is, wala kang ganang kumain. Di ka makatulog. And the fourth is that sometimes pumapasok sa isip mo na lang, siguro mas maganda kung magpapakamatay na lang ako. This is a reality, and that's why there is a high incidence of depression among young people. Okay? And that's something that can be prevented. So that's depression. Anxiety is constant worrying. Parang palagi kang nag-aalala. You're worried about what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen the next time, constantly worrying the whole time, that you cannot focus on what you're supposed to do. And anxiety manifests with physical symptoms. What are the physical symptoms of anxiety? Yung mga nagpa-panic attack, lumalamig yung kanilang mga kamay, hirap silang huminga, umiikot yung utak nila, parang feeling nila, mamamatay na ako, magkaka-heart attack ako. Tapos parang umiikot yung kanilang tiyan, they feel restless, they have palpitations. So anxiety is associated with physical symptoms compared to depression. You will tell me that a person will have anxiety and depression if the life of the person is affected already in these 5 areas. Family relationships, peer relationships, school and work performance, activities of daily living, and leisure activities. Okay.
Yes,
Clear?
Doctora. Yes, in fact, some of the answers that you gave uh, are are answers from the questions that have come out already from different people. One had to do with wala akong gana, and I think you've explained that already through the situation of the depression, and then the other one is the sleeplessness. So that the walang gana, and trying to look for the name of the one who asked that was Albi. So Albi, I hope nasagot yon, ano? Si Giovanni naman regarding difficulty in sleeping, no? I guess these are also symptoms of either anxiety or maybe worse, no? And then we have somebody, and maybe you can again address this, Doctora, about somebody who's crying. I'll read it from Jerry. What are the possible things to do when a person is not telling her problems? As we know, we always want to keep it secret. And suddenly she is crying. Oftentimes she may hurt herself, but I'm scared for her side.
Okay. Okay. Definitely a person who is crying, who keeps things to herself, who isolates herself, definitely that are signs of depression. We don't know yet if it's clinical.
Uh-oh.
I cannot hear you again.
Okay, so it's a good time to pause, and if you need further clarification on these two things that have been coming out, the depression and the anxiety, perhaps Doctora can address that. We also saw a contribution from someone regarding checking up the TESDA courses, but since it's Jeffrey Mangoma who said to look at TESDA online courses if you want to do something productive. But we're waiting now for Doctora to come back, and if the questions can keep coming in because we're about the end of it, no? Anyone? Marisa, Angela, you're the two who were also active in this. Can you please see what you can add to this? Tita Menchu?
Doctora, can you hear us?
Doctora's out.
Okay. Well, may I just say something, please?
Yes, go ahead.
As I said earlier, it's really a very sort of difficult time for many of us. And I think that especially for our scholars, they're at home. They're at home. They can't leave their houses. It's possible that the areas that they're confined in are more limited. In addition to their schooling, it's possible that they're seeing that their parents, some are single-family parent household, are having a more difficult time coping with this crisis that we're facing. Some may have gotten retrenched, lost their jobs, or have their jobs scaled back, working on a limited work week. So in addition to the responsibilities and duties of a scholar, of a student, a 19, 20, 23, 24-year-old student, there are compounding problems. So this is what we need to, I know Doctora explained it earlier, but I think our scholars need to face this and see how they can cope with this, because these are not ordinary times. I think we all have to accept that. We cannot be in denial. But we have to survive this. We have to surpass this, because this will pass. This will pass. But we have to we have to realize that right now, as scholars, you need to perform well, because otherwise the scholarships will be also in danger. Not to put too much pressure on you, but it's a reality. So that's it.
Yeah, and I think the idea of a schedule is really helpful. If you have something structured, here she is, Doctora. Yeah, let me just finish. If you have something structured and you make a daily schedule, that would help a lot. Just follow it. If you don't follow a schedule that you make, then baliwala. Okay, Doctora.
Sorry,
back to
excuse
you.
me, just very quickly. Sorry, Doctora, excuse me. Gina,
Yeah.
we have in the scholars have their time management.
That's right.
Time management tips. They're supposed to have a daily ideal and actual schedule. So they need to go back and do that, because all the more they need to keep a schedule. You need to manage your time. Okay, sorry.
Great
So Doctora,
reminder.
thank you, sorry.
Yes. Doctora, you're on mute.
Okay, so well, I hope I won't disconnect anymore because I'm using my data plan on my phone, but that's okay. So, okay, so well, I just respond to the comment of Maurice regarding management, the schedule. The schedule should be something that is not something very rigid. Pag gumawa tayo ng schedule, dahil meron tayong sinusundan para magawa natin at matapos natin yung dapat nating gawin para sa araw na ngayon. Ngayon, sometimes, pag may schedule tayo, hindi natin nasusundan kasi may mga emergency. Kailangan tumulong sa bahay, kailangan samahan ng kapatid, kailangan turuan ng kapatid. Pero, pwede natin gawin yon. But the schedule can be like a backup. So once na natapos na yung emergency, meron kang schedule to fall back on to follow the plan that you have prepared for the day. In that way, you will be able to accomplish all the things that you have proposed to yourself. So yung schedule parang goal setting yan sa atin, di ba? Sa school, meron tayong goal setting. So every time we have a goal set, it directs everything that we do towards achieving that goal. So it's good to have a schedule. Okay, now going back to, I think before I was cut, I was talking, what was I talking about? There's so many things that...
Yeah, somebody who had a hard time sleeping.
Somebody
who was crying.
And hurting herself.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
This is something that I'd like to warn the scholars. Nobody in her right mind will want to hurt themselves, no? Because we have to be grateful that our parents have given us life, and that we are healthy and that we're able to manage ourselves. So if a person starts of thinking of wanting to kill herself or wanting to hurt herself, then that person needs help because she has a serious problem. Okay? So if you don't know what to do with a person who's crying all the time and hurting themselves, lang ka guys, sa sinabi sa social experiment, I don't know what to do, then all the more reason, that's when you can advise. Maybe it's time to get counseling. Kung ayaw nilang psychiatrist, huwag natin pilitin, but we can always say that they can go for counseling. Okay, so I hope I answered your question.
Okay, and then I guess this nagpapa-thank you siya. Thank you, sabi ni Jerry. But the question of being a warrior, overthinking every night, and not being able to sleep, how would you address that in more specifics, Doctora?
Okay. Well, usually it's a case-to-case basis. I can only give you general recommendations, but as to addressing the problem of what triggered this overthinking, or what are the contents of their overthinking, that has to be addressed on a case-to-case basis, individual basis. Now, oftentimes at the end of the day, we always have something pending to do. There are pending things, or there's the constant worry of what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day, when the things that we yung mga plinano natin hindi natuloy, or what our expectations from ourselves hindi natin nagawa, so we constantly worry. That's the reason. What you can do is, one, I've taught you the breathing exercise. Remember your relaxation technique? Do you remember that relaxation technique? I just taught you that, how to do deep breathing exercise, relax, and listening to music. because that's one way to let go of our thoughts. You know, relaxation is not only in between studies. Relaxation can also be done before you go to bed, especially before you go to bed, because you want to take out, gusto mong alisin sa pag-iisip mo lahat ng mga gumugulo sa isip mo. So do the relaxation technique. Maybe that will help. No?
Okay, no more questions on the chat box, Doctora.
Yeah.
Anybody? Sorry, go ahead, Doctora.
No. Very good. No more. How can we people have depression? There's one more.
In denial, yeah. Right. They're in denial.
Well, okay. They're in denial, yeah, because one of the things, why is a person, you have to find out, why am I in denial? No? Why? Because you see, one of the things that is expected of mature people is to grow in self-knowledge. We have to recognize our strengths, our weaknesses, our threats, our opportunities. So it's very important that we have to know ourselves. If there is a person is denial because she thinks kaya pa niya, she thinks malalampasan pa niya, iniisip niya na people think highly of me, you know, there's a little bit of pride. Admit natin, we all have pride in us. But we also have to learn how to be humble. And that's when we have to admit that we also have our weaknesses. But that does not diminish us as a person. Remember, it's not the failures that define us, but the choices we make, you know. And if I choose to remain in denial, well, nothing will happen to me. I will just keep on wallowing in self-pity. But if I learn to accept my weaknesses and I ask for help, then I am doing something about it. And if you're doing something about it, you feel proud of yourself. Nakaya ko to. Nakaya ko to. Kailangan ko lang ng tulong. So, dapat kilalanin natin ang sarili natin. And that is a sign of maturity. A sign of maturity, number one, that we grow in self-knowledge. And number two, that we are concerned not only about ourselves, but we are concerned about the others.
Thank you, Doctor. Yeah, thank you, Doctora. By the way, scholars, at the ending, there will be a summary done by Ma'am Jean Chavez, no? But if you do have something that you'd like to say rather than just read, I will read this because Doctora is struggling with her reading part. Here is one from Claire Podiota. What is your response to those people who cope up negatively, but for them, they think it's positive? For example, for those people who find compulsive buying is satisfying, but we all know compulsive buying is unhealthy. How can I help her? Thank you, po.
How can you help a person? One is you have to tell her that she is into compulsive buying. You know, I think this is something that's also we're recognizing right now because of a lot of promos with online shopping. So people are now into compulsive buying. One of the things that you can help your friends is, well, you have to recognize the fact that we are in a time of crisis, no? And during this time of crisis, well, we have to, we realize that there are just few things that we need to help us to survive, no? And because there are other people also in need, and especially if a family who have very few means, no, and they are trying to save, no, because they have to give priority to basic necessities, then each one will have to cooperate and collaborate. Okay, so what you can tell your friend, maybe you have to, every time you make a purchase, you have to think, you ask questions, do I really need it? Is this something that I can learn to let go? Can I save this money so that I can help in the, can I save this allowance so I can give my share in the family needs, no? So, and contribute to the family needs. So it's always asking yourself, no? Reflecting. More than asking yourself, I think it's reflecting. Because if one is able to reflect, then one is able to connect with the basic principles and values that she holds true to herself. And that is what will sustain her all throughout her life, not to always make the right decisions. Okay, so I talk to your friend. Now, if she listens to you, fine. If she doesn't listen to you, well, don't make it your problem anymore.
And then we just keep praying, right? Dr.
Yeah,
We
that's
pray
right.
for ourselves and for others.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Because the most important thing is that you just have to tell her.
Yes.
But we have no control of the decisions she makes. What we have control is ours. So for me, I will not do it because my family needs me.
Okay, Doctora. Here's one from Jervy. Please unmute yourself, Jervy, and ask the question.
Hello po, Doctor. Good
Hello.
morning po. As of now po kasi hindi ko po ma-manage ng maayos yung time ko po. Because din po kasi sa field na inaaral ko as of now, sa IT fields po. Bali kasi parang feeling ko po kasi I'm always stressed po kasi parang yung field ko po kasi is IT po. So marang nagde-deep learning po ako about it. So kapag hindi ko po siya napaparan or napapagana, parang nauubos po yung oras ko sa pag-debug po ng system na ginagawa ko po or nung pina-practice ko po. Ang tanong ko po is, paano ko po paano ko po yung mental relaxation ko po, paano ko po siya, ano po yung pinaka-best thing na dapat kong gawin para ma-relax po yung isip ko po pag kunyari po, kailangan ko po ng parang hindi na po nagpa-function ng maayos ang isip ko. Parang yun po gano'n.
Oh, yeah. There is what you call, I think you can take a look at that. There is what you call managing your energy level. No? Pag sinabing managing your energy level, you have to recognize your physical energy, mental energy, your emotional energy, spiritual energy. So, how do I manage that? Now, one of the things that you can do is, especially when you're working, sometimes you find yourself working computers for long hours. No? Our energy level, physical and mental, has a circadian rhythm. That's what we call a biorhythm. We peak for after 1 hour, by the time after 1 hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours. And then later on, our energy levels goes down. Hindi tayo pwedeng dire-diretso eh. Kasi napapagod tayo eh. Ang ating biocircadian rhythm goes up and down. Goes up and down. So mataas, kasi you're highly motivated, you're very focused. Then sometimes, napapansin mo, bumabagsak na yung energy levels mo. Di ba? So, paano mga signs and symptoms ng bumabagsak ng energy levels? Humihikab, napapagod, nadidistract, parang bumibigay na, very restless ka na, nagugutom. So those are the signs that tell you, I have to renew my energy level. So you stop what you're doing, you take a break for 15 minutes, look at something else, read, eat something, or take a walk, or do some stretching exercise, just to clear your mind. And then after 15 minutes, when you get down to your computer, you feel refreshed and re-energized. That's one thing that you can do. Number 2 is that if you feel you are at a dead end in what you are doing in computer programming, ask for help. Because it happens to us. Sometimes we're doing a problem solving, and that happened to me when I was doing my chemistry. Qualitative chemistry, I was at a dead end with the problem solving. So I only realized that when I started to ask for help, I was committing the same mistakes over and over again. So ask for help. Call your professor or call a colleague or your peers and ask, what do you do in this case? I have this problem. You can connect naman through social media. So ask for help. And for students or for our scholars, in case of any doubt, always ask. Okay? So don't just leave it na kaya ko to, I can solve this on my own. No, we need help. While your mentors are there, you can always ask them for help. Okay, so I hope I've answered your question.
So, Doctora, we want to thank you so much for addressing all these personal questions from the scholars, as well as giving us a general guideline and like an angel as to what to do when we're all mentally down, you know. So I realize you're going to be sharing all of this with us, you know, in some written form as well. And I'd like to pass it on now back to Angela, the person who connected with you.
Thank you, Doctora. And I'm sure our committee members don't have any questions because I'm sure they would have been the first to put it in the chat box. Anyway, I'd like to now call on April Villeta, a fifth-year BS Physical Therapy student from Lady of Fatima University in Antipolo. She will give the response. April, are you there?
Po, Ma'am Angela. Hello po. Yes, ma'am. I'm here po.
Yes, April, pakibigay mo na yung response mo kay Doktora.
Yes po. Hello po. Good morning po.
Good morning.
And good morning po, Dr. Marisa de Guzman. I am April Villeta, one of the scholars of the SSAP Foundation Incorporated. And on behalf of the SSAP Foundation Committee staff, scholars, and parents that are here today, allow me to express our sincere appreciation for the outstanding and timely presentation about mental wellness or awareness. Thank you for pointing out or addressing the stigma and the discrimination against COVID-19 patients and patients with mental health problems. Your advice on how to identify the external stressors, possible mental health signs and symptoms, and some coping mechanisms are very useful. I'm sure everyone, the students, the parents, the employees, and even the employers also can relate to today's topic. With everything that's been happening and the uncertainties, we can't help but worry. But hopefully, everything we've learned from today's presentation will help us get through, especially during tough times. Again, thank you for sharing your time, your knowledge, and thank you for your dedication. Have a nice day. Have a nice day po, Dr. De Guzman. Thank you po.
Thank you.
Thank you to our guest speakers, to our beloved Santuario de San Antonio Parish, and to my fellow Scholarship Program Committee members for sharing with us your time, talent, and treasure. The Scholarship Program is very special to us because what we are doing is done out of love. As Saint Francis of Assisi said, start by doing what is necessary, then do what is possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. Our story started 25 years ago, and today we are very proud to say we have done what is possible. But with your help and support, we can do the impossible, simply because what the world needs now is love. So please tell your friends, relatives, and neighbors to support the scholarship program of our parish. We need you because a single sunbeam can drive away the many shadows of fear, desperation, and doubt in these difficult times. Thank you so much to all of you.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine. Oh, listen, Lord, if you want to know what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. What the world needs now. Need love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love.